Have you ever wanted to make a card that looks incredible, is super fun to create, and actually helps you save money while you're stamping? Well, if that's the case, then you're in the right place today. Hi, I'm Julia with Julia Sue's Stamping. I'm really happy that you're here to hang out with me for a little bit today. Thank you. So this layout is one of those that you're going to want to use over and over again. It is beautiful and really stretches your supplies. I've even created a free downloadable PDF for you. So you don't need to worry about all the steps and the measurements. Just check out the description and the link is there. I'll be showing you several variations during the premiere. So if you're watching during the live or during the replay, please leave in the chat or the comments your favorite version. I would love to know. And you know, if you don't already have a demonstrator, I would love to be your crafty cheerleader. You'll find all the supplies for these awesome cards, this layout, listed on my blog and in the PDF tutorial. So you'll be able to snag whatever you need to make these exact cards yourself at home. Don't worry though, this layout works with any papers, any stamp set that you happen to have. Well, let's get started. I'm going to begin by using the Amber Autumn stamp set with the coordinating dies. I love the stamp set. It's got sentiments, it's got images, it's gorgeous, and these dies make it so easy to create something incredibly outstanding. I've got a piece of very vanilla cardstock, and it's been cut to 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5.5 inches. Using the bone folder, I'm going to go ahead and burnish it really well at that fold line. And now I'm going to go ahead and stamp the acorn image from that stamp set in the Early Espresso ink. I love using a different kind of colored ink, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this down on that edge here because I'm going to end up cutting a diagonal. And I wouldn't want to cut it in a way, I wouldn't want to stamp it like this because that would be too much of the angle. We're going to be saving our cardstock here, and so I want to stamp it in a way that maybe it's not going to be on the card, but that it's, I hope I didn't have my head in there. It's not going to be on the card, but it's going to be perfect for our cut. All right, now this stamp set has the most gorgeous stamped images. The next thing I'm going to do is bring in the paper trimmer. And now, since I can see exactly where that is going to be, I'm going to simply cut it from one side to the other, and I can see with the paper trimmer where that will end up being, and I'm going to do a diagonal like that. It's that simple, and already we've got what's going to look kind of like a fancy fold, but it's not. It'll look like a fancy fold masterpiece in a way when we are done. At the same time I'm running things through my cut and emboss machine, I've got a piece of the gold foil paper, and I've got it into the birch wood embossing folder, the 3D embossing folder. Using the line, I'm going to run it through the cut and emboss machine, and I'm also going to use the die cuts and die cut out the leaves and the acorns here. Well, I've run that gold foil through the birch wood embossing folder, and it looks super cool. Sorry, my camera is not a gigantic fan of the shiny gold. Then the acorns and leaves were run through the die cut. I always use a little post-it note to help them stay exactly where I want them. Now it's going to be time to do just a little bit of coloring with the crumb cake, pumpkin pie, and the Darling Duckling Stampin' Blends. So get to have a little bit of fun with coloring on that. I'll get this coloring going, but I am going to speed it up a little bit. time for us to put all these little pieces and parts together. So I have the card base here, and I'm going to use some adhesive and quite a bit of it to get it onto the back of the card front. Lots and lots, and you can use the liquid glue if that's what you like. For this one, I want something really strong that works quickly, so I'm putting, as you can see, a lot of seal on it. Now I'm going to take that embossed gold panel, I'm going to lay it down, and I'm going to line it up with the bottom as well as I can, and then all I do is place the card front right down on top. It's on there so beautifully, like it was made for it. Okay, so next I'm going to go ahead and decorate by stamping the image, and I probably should have stamped that before I adhered the embossed piece, but we're going to give it a try. Anyway, and I'm going to test it out first to see how confident I am with it being straight. Oh, I'm very confident. That looks pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and stamp that on here. Turned out beautifully, even though it's got that little a little uneven under it, but that's part of the beauty of stamping. It worked beautifully. Now I'm going to simply adhere this little teeny tiny strip of designer series paper that I have from the Autumn Toile. It is cut a little longer because, you know, the designer series paper is 12 by 12. I'm going to put some adhesive on it, liquid adhesive, because I want to have that wiggle room to move it if I need to, and place it right on top of the very vanilla piece so that it helps hide that little spot between the gold and the, I think I'm going to trim it first so I don't have too much here that I'm working with. And just so it's a little bit shorter here. Here we go. That'll work. And now I'm going to go ahead and put some liquid adhesive on there. Just a little dab. Not too little, but a small enough amount. I don't want it to squish and leak all over, but on the other hand, I want it to stick. There. Okay. Now I'm going to place it down on the vanilla piece. Very carefully, right on the edge of the vanilla. Then all it takes is a little snip of the scissors to trim that off. Snip, snip. Here we go. Perfect. And I can still move it just a tiny bit if I want to, because I do have the liquid adhesive on there. Okay. So finally, we're going to be popping that colored die cut right onto the bottom of the card front. And I'm going to use a lot of dimensionals because it's just great to have a lot of dimensionals on there. They're going to stay. It's going to be helping it hold together and just look gorgeous. Okay, that is already the die cuts off of that one. Okay, and look at that. How cool is this? It looks like a fancy fun fold, but you and I know it's not. And of course, we don't want to forget the inside. So I stamped the leaves on the upper and the bottom right-hand corners of a panel of the Very Vanilla. I'm going to simply put that on a panel of Early Espresso, matting it just so. Now this is going to go inside the card. So remembering the inside because it's just as important in a lot of ways. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to stamp a fun thanks in there as well. Beautiful. Isn't that absolutely stunning? And what I love about this design is now it doesn't need a ton of extra supplies because you're getting maximum impact with minimal waste, really saving on your stampin' supplies. It's gorgeous. Well, are you ready to see how this fold can completely transform just by changing the stamp set and papers? Let's jump into that second version. This time, I'm using the Peace on Earth stamp set with the coordinating dies paired with the Peaceful Garden Designer Series paper. Just look at these gorgeous blues. Aren't they striking? I love this pattern because on the other side is this almost cloud cover card. So that's going to go on the inside and this will be on the outside. And this time I have a teeny tiny strip of the dark gray Peaceful Garden glimmer paper to put where the papers meet on that angled front. That shimmer is going to catch the light and make this fold look extra special. Let's get started. For this one, I have cloud cover as the card base. So I've already cut it, scored it. Now it's time to fold and burnish at that score line. I'm going to use those die cuts of 2 of the birds. I want to be really careful with how I put them on so that I know it's going to work with the diagonal cut that I want to create. So it's going to be a little tricky for this one, but we can do it. I know we can. And when we get them out of the paper or when we are getting these beautiful doves out, we need to be really careful because they are easy to accidentally rip. I've done it. So there we go. All right, setting aside our beautiful birds, now that I see where the die cut is here, because we are doing some paper supply saving here, I'm gonna find out where I'd like to have the diagonal cut. I think that looks pretty good. And trim that up. All right, there we go. Our little fun fold is already unfolding. Let's do the sentiment first this time. Big hugs for a good friend. Oh, that's awesome. And a little bit of Secret C ink. Open that up. Now what's great is that we can see exactly where we're stamping with this one. I want a little bit of cushion underneath, so I'm using my silicone mat. Now I'm just going to put this down, I think right here. Beautiful. I'm letting this ink dry for just a moment because sometimes my Secret C is really juicy. Now opening it up and a lot of adhesive on here so that everything sticks together very well. The back of the card front gets a bunch of adhesive, especially around the edges. I'm going to line up that Designer Series paper with the bottom of the card base. Then place the top down, and there it is. There's the card. Let's add on that strip of glimmer paper. So where the papers meet at that angled front, it gets covered up just a tiny bit. I'll put just a little bit of this adhesive, the liquid adhesive, so that I can move it around, but not too much, because again, we don't want that ink to get all squished in there. Laying it down on top of the cloud cover edge, not where it meets, but right at the edge of that cloud cover, the top cardstock. Get it nice and secured. Beautiful. Time for a trim. And there. A quick little trim on this side too. All right, bringing them in here and some dimensionals behind to help everything stick up beautifully and adhere to the card. right, so there's one, and now for the other one. What's so wonderful about this fold is you can adapt it for any occasion, any color scheme, any style. It's just the one basic idea with endless possibilities. So I hope you remember that I do have the free PDF for you on my blog. So you can check it out and snag a copy of that for your very own. Okay, I think I like it. With a simple little strip of the Designer Series paper at the bottom of some basic white cardstock, I've matted it with the Secret C, and it's ready to go inside, setting off our message beautifully. Oh, wow, I absolutely love this. Didn't this diagonal cut card turn out absolutely amazing? And you saw how easy it is to make these once you know the trick. Plus, it's saving on your supplies. A win-win. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I absolutely love crafting with you. I really hope that these ideas inspire you to stretch your supplies and make some beautiful cards that help bring you joy. Well, that's it. How cool are these cards? I love them. They are so fun and easy, quick. They look so cool, and I really enjoy how they stretch my supplies a bit. So thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. Please be sure you give the video a thumbs up, a like, hit the subscribe button, share with a crafty friend. Doing all of that is absolutely free and makes a huge difference to my really small business, so I appreciate your support. Don't forget that the downloadable PDF is on my blog. Check out the link in the description. Head over there and get your free downloadable so that you can create these yourself. All the measurements are there and the supplies. Plus, there are other pictures and a little step-by-step stuff, so it's really helpful. And whether you were here for the premiere or watching the replay, please leave a comment letting me know which one of these cards was your favorite. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day and that you have a chance to get inky. Bye.